بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Inshallah, the topic of the khutbah today is good deeds and the value of good deeds. And inshallah, I'm citing content from Imam Sheikh Kamal al-Makki. So subhanallah, a lot of times you see some people, not all people, but some people in the masjid, they would line up for salah and there would be a gap in the front row or one of the earlier rows. And what would happen is that some people are not eager to get that spot in the rows up in front. And subhanAllah, they might even look to somebody that they know who's in the back row, and they would tell him, to go up, and take that spot. Subhanallah, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they had a different mindset, of course. When it came to the matters of the dunya, they would prefer the other person. When it came to the matters of the akhirah, and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would prefer themselves. They want the reward for themselves. To illustrate, if there's a brother or a sister who's going through a difficulty, they would go out of their way to remove the difficulty of that person. But when it came to getting the front row, or the rows up in front, they would fight for the front row. Subhanallah. And some of the scholars even have said, Sheikh Kamal said that some of the scholars say that if you actually invite somebody to the front row, for example, that is makruh, and in fact it's borderline on, it could be haram, considered haram even. That's because the reward is so immense. You're letting go of such a big reward in doing that. Subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jal describes in the Quran a place called the A'raf. And the A'raf in Arabic, it's the plural of urf. And what that means is a place that is elevated above the ground. So in Arabic, you describe the decoration on the head of a chicken, for example. That's called urf because it's above the head of the chicken. So there's this place on the Day of Judgment that is called the A'raf. It is a very high place. And Allah Azza wa Jal will place on that place those people who have an equal amount of good deeds as their bad deeds. So as we all know, or most of us know, is that the equation, as Allah Azza wa Jalla told us in the Quran, is whoever has more good deeds on the scale, on the balance, versus bad deeds, then by the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla, those people would be admitted to paradise. And the opposite, whoever has more bad deeds, they would go to hellfire. Waliyadhu billah. So for those people whose good deeds are exactly equal to their bad deeds, these people are placed on the A'raf. And they spend a long time there, basically waiting until Allah Azza wa Jal decides for them, what is going to happen to them, what's their destiny going to be. Because these people have an equal amount of good and bad deeds, so they can't, they don't just enter paradise and they don't just enter hellfire. So that is the situation. So imagine that. So those people, of course, especially those people, not only those people, but especially those people, they are going to know what is the value of a single good deed. They will know what is the value of one small good deed. Because that one small good deed is the deed that would sway the balance. Subhanallah. Some of us, not all of us, in this life we don't know the value of a good deed. Like I mentioned earlier. Subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jal, by His mercy, He's made it very easy for us to get good deeds, and by His mercy to acquire paradise. He has made collecting good deeds very easy. So if we look at it, one example is after Salah. we perform our tasbih. We say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Wallahu Akbar. Right? And some of the hadith Sheikh Kamal mentions are from Sahih al-Jami' and other sources. So they're not Sahih Muslim and Sahih al-Bukhari. But Sahih al-Jami', for example, is one of them. We know, of course, the value of saying each of them 33 times. But in a specific hadith, it's mentioned 10 times. After each salah, 10 times Subhanallah, 10 times Alhamdulillah, 10 times Allahu Akbar. And so after the 5 daily prayers, that's how much? It's 150, right? Allah Azza wa Jal, by His mercy, multiplies by 10. So now it's 1,500. Now, before going to bed, if you say them 33 times each, that's approximately 1,000. Right? So 1,000 plus 1,500 is 2,500. So the Prophet ﷺ is asking his companions, who of you has, 2,500 sins? Okay? Such that if you were to acquire 2,500 good deeds, those good deeds would erase those 2,500 sins. Subhanallah. So the companions are amazed by this, of course. So they asked the Prophet ﷺ, if you've told us, something like this that could grant us paradise and is so easy to do, but few of us do it, why is it that people don't do it if it's so easy? And the Prophet ﷺ responded saying that during the salah, what happens? Shaitan, waliyadu billah, he comes to you and he tells you this and this. You forgot this. You need to do this. Right? So that in salah, you're always occupied by this. And subhanAllah, I myself foremost, this happens to me all the time. So it relates to me directly. During salah, shaitan comes to you, oh, you need to move your car. Right? So, right after prayer, you need to go and do this. You need to move your car. Or, there's food on the stove. It's going to burn. You need to get to it right away after salah. So things like that. So subhanallah, shaitan comes and starts reminding you of things. And furthermore, when it comes time to sleep, shaitan, basically the Prophet ﷺ uses the word yunayimuhu. That shaitan basically, he lulls you to sleep. That it's a very powerful form, of setting the person to sleep, basically, linguistically. So he lulls you to sleep, yunayimuhu, and he puts you, subhanallah, to go to sleep like that, and you don't say those remembrances before you sleep. So subhanallah, that is the situation. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم توبوا إلى الله يرحمكم الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. So who wants to be a millionaire? Okay, Sheikh Kamal said that he would raise his hand as well. We would all want that naturally, right? Sheikh Kamal says that it's actually very easy to be, inshallah, by the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, to be a millionaire with Allah in terms of, sorry for the weak example, but to have so much reward with Allah Azza wa Jal, something better than a millionaire. And how do you do that? It is by saying the dua before going to the marketplace. So going to the marketplace, going to the mall or the strip mall, the mini mall, the store, you basically say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. The reward of saying this, the Prophet ﷺ says, is alfa hasana. It's 1,000 good deeds. What does that mean? It means 1,000,000 good deeds. and the erasing of alfa sayyi'ah, okay, or effectively 1,000,000 bad deeds. Subhanallah, just for saying that. So Sheikh Kamal says that we should all feel very, very bad at all of these missed opportunities. You know, that it was so easy and we didn't do it. So it's our chance to start doing it now. Subhanallah. Sheikh Kamal says that, subhanallah, referencing the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ about the man who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him knowledge but didn't give him wealth, did not give him wealth. And this person, subhanallah, he was sincere in his heart that if he were to have that money, he would spend it in the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows that. You know, He knows what's inside your heart. So subhanallah, this person's reward is equal to the person who has the money and spends fi sabilillah in the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. So in other words, that when it comes to the matters of the akhirah and Allah's pleasure subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of us should dream very big, should have very big dreams, you know, in the same way that people have big dreams about their careers and success. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should all have huge dreams, you know, building masajid, charities, and all of these things, you know, etc. Because the scholars say that you would get the same reward as the person who's done these things. The only exception is the magnification, the scholars say. That Allah Azza wa Jal, for the person who does it, Allah would magnify. So we know the rewards of giving the charities. Allah Azza wa Jal would magnify multiple folds. But other than that, the initial reward is the same. So that is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other thing, Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, he talks about martyrdom. Okay, the shahada. And first of all, he says that it's a good thing to ask for. Okay, number one. And the second thing is that it's good to ask for all these good things. You know, like I mentioned earlier, all these things that you should dream about. So these are two things we should be thinking about. And as far as the reward of martyrdom, is that if you were to be sincere about it, Allah Azza wa Jal would give you the reward wherever you are, you know, even if you were to die in your bed. So long as you are sincere in your heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So subhanallah. And then one of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how many palaces could you have built? And, you know, and what did I miss out on, and what did you miss out on for all these years? Subhanallah. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give us that, inshallah. Ameen. So now we have an idea of the value of good deeds. I mentioned the people on the A'raf, they will know the value of the good deeds. And of course, inshallah, may Allah make us among the people of paradise, they will know the value of the good deeds on the Day of Judgment, right? And then there are those who are extremely blessed, extremely lucky in this life. Regardless of all the problems they have in this life, they know the value of the good deed in this life. So those are very lucky people. Because they make their tasbih, they know about all of these things that grant big rewards. And they are small things, subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jalla has made it easy. With the small things, we get a lot of good deeds. Now that we know what the value of the good deed is, we should not let it go easily. We should not give these good deeds to somebody else or lose them quickly. How to lose the good deeds quickly? Of course, we know one example is backbiting. Subhanallah. We know, of course, from the terrifying hadith of the Prophet ﷺ about eating the flesh of your brother and so on. Waliyadhu billah. But what we know also is there is the hadith of the bankrupt man. And who is this bankrupt man? The Prophet ﷺ describes him. He is a person who has a very large mountain of good deeds on the Day of Judgment. How could he be bankrupt? if he has this. It is because this person, although he has this mountain of good deeds that he has collected, at the same time, unfortunately, he was backbiting, he was treating people badly, abusing people physically or verbally, and so on in this life. And so what happens is that on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal will line up those people that he has hurt. So the people that he hurt, they will line up on the day of judgment, and they will each start to take from his mountain of good deeds. Because we know this, when you backbite, waliyadu billah, the person that you are backbiting against, they will take from your good deeds. So each of those people on the line will take from the good deeds. That large mountain will become a hill, and then it's going to be completely gone. And not only that, there's still people in line, waiting. So subhanallah, waliyadu billah, this person would be thrown into hellfire. Waliyadu billah. So can you imagine? One of the scholars of Islam, he had learned that there was a group of people who were backbiting against him. So he basically sent them a message and he told them, I've been informed that you've been backbiting against me. And so I thought I'd give you this bowl of dates because it's the only thing that I could give you as a thank you for all those good deeds that you gave me. Subhanallah. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. I close with one thing is that there is a saying in Arabic that says that, "O paradise, you are not cheap. You are not cheap, but to the lazy person, you are very expensive, or you are very difficult to obtain." So subhanAllah, those with a sincere heart, may Allah make us among them, Allah Azza wa Jalla has made it easy to collect those good deeds. It is literally easier to collect good deeds than it is to pick up money from the streets. اللهم انك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم انك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم انك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. Oh Allah, I ask that you grant us righteous successors. Oh Allah, grant us righteous successors. Oh Allah, grant us righteous successors. Oh Allah, remove the suffering of people in all places. Oh Allah, remove the suffering of people in all places. Oh Allah, remove the suffering of people in all places. Oh Allah, those who are sick, those who are in debt, or going through any other difficulty or calamity, I ask that you balance between their reward and their healing. Oh Allah, grant them an exit, Ya Allah, from their difficulties. Oh Allah, grant them an exit from their difficulties. Oh Allah, have mercy on our mothers and fathers. Oh Allah, have mercy on our mothers and fathers. Oh Allah, have mercy on our mothers and fathers. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. الله سمع الله من حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله من حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.